Notification Squad, where you at? It's a new week, it's a new episode. Let's do this. Take it away, me. The US government has voted to repeal internet freedoms. I'll explain to you what happened and how it'll affect you. Todrick Hall appeared on an episode of Bob's Burgers and it was hilarious. Plus, we're going to reveal the winners of the 2017 We the Unicorn Awards. And we're going to roll down how watch into that because, well, you can probably guess why. All this, plus I'll show you how to strip a rifle and put it back together again on this week's edition of YouTuber News, the video news service from WeTheUnicorns.com, which is a website on the internet. Or, as people in 10 years will call it, that thing that only rich people can go on. That's weird because I usually put a joke in there, but that's just a true statement. Our first story, the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, has voted 3-2, yes, 5 people voted on this, 5, to scale back a broad range of net neutrality rules. Now, if you're feeling a little bit confused, don't worry, that's natural. The biggest problem with net neutrality and all the issues surrounding it is that it's an incredibly serious and important topic with the most boring name in the world. It's like if you called World War II a map struggle. Here's the issue in a nutshell so you can get up to speed. Right off the bat, what is net neutrality? Well, net neutrality is a broad term which refers to just sort of the idea that the internet should be free. And by free, I don't mean like monetarily, although that does play into it. I mean the idea that once you have internet access, you're free to do whatever you want with it. Internet service providers can't stop you from going to certain websites, they can't restrict what sites you visit. Unless, of course, the website you're visiting is like heroin.com, which is, of course, the internet's home of cocaine. Cocaine.com was already taken. It also means that internet service providers can't charge you extra to visit certain sites. So you take a popular site, like say youtube.com, it's a very popular website, they might think to themselves, what if we charge people an extra $5 a month if they want to access YouTube? And if they don't pay $5, they can't access YouTube. That would be great for their profits, bad for everyone else. Well, under the current rules, they can't do that. But luckily, the FCC has just voted to repeal all those rules. So now they probably can. Hooray! Money and general freedom aside, this is a terrible thing for many reasons. It gives internet providers way too much power over what internet users can see and access. For example, if you had an internet service provider who, for whatever reason, decided that they didn't really want people to be reading about LGBT issues, they could start limiting access to websites to do with LGBTQ+ issues. If they were a company that had a certain political leaning, they could perhaps start restricting people's access to websites that lean the other way. And they could do that in a few ways. They can't just kind of cut off the website, but they can control how fast that website loads. So say, I don't know, Verizon, which is a US communications company, say they suddenly decided they have a beef with Twitter, they could make it so that Twitter loads its page in about 4 hours, meaning that even though you can access it, it's basically inaccessible. They now have the freedom to basically do that. Why would you do this? Why would the FCC do this? Good question. Because here's the thing, with most political arguments, even the bad ones, they usually have some kind of way of spinning it. You know, they're usually like, oh, it'll be good for the economy, maybe there'll be jobs. But the thing about this one is, they're not even pretending that it's good. Okay, the guy who's the head of the FCC is this guy called Ajit Pai. Ajit Pai, more like bad man. And he has been trying to get rid of net neutrality for years because he gets paid a lot of money by internet service companies. That's literally the only reason. And when he's interviewed or asked about this decision, he can't defend it because there are no good defenses. It's not a good thing. The only people who benefit from this are a small handful of giant billion-dollar communications companies. Everyone else hates it, okay? And it's not just internet users. Websites hate it. Google doesn't like it. You know, Netflix, YouTube, no one wants this because it restricts access to their websites. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. The issue isn't over yet. There's a few things that are still probably going to happen. Number one, the FCC is going to be sued by basically everyone who's alive. Most major websites are going to try and find a way to sue them because they don't want this to happen. So that will delay things. Secondly, internet companies, although they've kind of got newfound power to screw people over, they're not going to rush to do that because it would be incredibly bad for business if you just turn around and were like, oh great, we can charge £50 for YouTube now. £50 for YouTube, everyone. Feel like you might lose a few customers that way. And thirdly, and most importantly, the FCC answers to Congress in America. Now, 2018 is an election year, and there's a chance that the Democrats may come into power in Congress. The Democrats are firmly against limiting net neutrality, so there's a good chance that if they control Congress, they would try and stop this decision from the FCC. But the interesting thing about this is, Republicans, the other party, also hate this. this is the curious thing. Ajit Pai is himself a Republican. He was appointed by Donald Trump. But Republicans themselves really don't like this. About 2/3 of Republicans are against getting rid of net neutrality rules. And 83% of Americans in general are against it. So even while Republicans are in charge of Congress, they themselves may well act to stop this. Because it's a terrible decision, and why did you do this? Why, Ajit, man, why you gotta be like this, man? Anyway, sorry for the information dump. Hopefully that cleared things up a little bit. If you want an even deeper run through, I wrote a whole piece about this on the website. It's called The Day the Internet Died, because I'm nice and melodramatic like that. So head over to WeTheUnicorns.com if you want that full detailed rundown. If there's any more news about this, and there definitely will be, we'll keep you informed on the site and of course here on YouTube and News. But let's wrap that up for now and move on to our next story. Our second story, and it's a much lighter story. Todrick Hall, popular YouTuber, musician, and he just kind of does everything, this guy, recently guest starred on an episode of Bob's Burgers. Todrick played a drag queen called Miss Triple Xmas, so you already know it's good, and it was just genuinely hilarious, and it's awesome to see a YouTuber being appreciated on a big mainstream show like that. Todrick posted about his appearance on Instagram and called it the happiest moment of his life. And of course, it's not the first time that he's appeared in drag. He also appeared in drag when he starred in Kinky Boots on Broadway. Make sure you watch the episode to show some support for Todrick, and Todrick, wherever you are, congratulations. Our third story, we asked you to vote in our We the Unicorns awards, and you replied very loudly. Tens of thousands of you voted in our awards, which spanned many different categories. We had YouTuber of the Year, we had Social Impact, we had Video of the Year, we had Song of the Year, all kinds of stuff. We had more categories and more nominees than ever before, and we also had more votes. You guys really went crazy on this one, so thank you for that. It was a really interesting little selection of winners. We made a video with the full list of winners, which I'll link at the end of this video, but you know, Dodie took home a prize, not that surprising. Poppy took home a prize, Pentatonics, and yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all the people who took home prizes, and I can't think of anyone else who may have won every single prize, and definitely wasn't a certain fandom that completely dominated the awards, and so I think I'll just let my voice keep getting higher and higher pitched, and then we'll probably just wrap up the show, and that's it. Dan and Phil, man, you guys are crazy. Yeah, Dan Howell and Dan and Phil, any category that they were nominated in, together or separately, they absolutely just dominated. I've seen the raw data on how many votes were cast. It's a lot of votes. But I will say a congratulations to other people who may not have taken home the main prize, but still were really represented by their fans. I mean, Lily Singh got thousands of votes. Thomas Sanders, you guys really love Thomas Sanders. He got thousands upon thousands of votes. So even if your fave didn't necessarily take the top prize, you can still be very proud of yourselves, because in terms of demonstrating your fandom and demonstrating your dedication to your faves, you guys just blew it out of the water. Congratulations, everyone. And here's to the 2018 awards. If we're all still alive, there's probably going to be like a nuclear war or something. Net neutrality will probably somehow kill us. Oh, hey, sorry, hey, it's me, Ajit Pai from the FCC. We accidentally put poison in everyone's computer. Because what we were trying to do is we were trying to put poison in everyone's computer, and then we did, and we succeeded. So you're all poisoned now. The sound of you all typing Dan and Phil yas in capital letters reminds me that it's time for our question of the week. Every week I ask you a question of the week, and a bunch of you answer, and I want to thank you for doing that. Your answers are very funny. Not always the most accurate, but very funny, and I really do appreciate it. And now it's time to find out who correctly answered last week's question, which I cannot recall. I believe that the correct answer was from this person, whose name is My Eyes Are Not the Size of the Moon, which is factually correct, so I appreciate that. And they said, Bop bop yee, please pin me, daddy. Which actually was the correct answer to last week's question. A little bit of algebra involved, carry the one, that was the correct answer. So congratulations to that person. Congratulations to that person. Can't afford the con this week, so just congratulations to you and your normal sized eyes. Now it's time for this week's question of the week, which is as follows. If you had the chance to collaborate with any YouTuber in the world, but after you collaborate, the YouTuber dies, and also you die, why would you do that? Like, what would be the point? So get your answers into that question, and I'll read out the correct one next week. Thanks. I'm Benedict Townsend. This has been YouTuber News. I'll be back next week with a special festive edition of the show, our holiday special. I wanted to call it our Christmas special, but as you remember, Obama banned the phrase Merry Christmas, and now we can't say it anymore, and no one ever says Merry Christmas anymore because Obama banned it. These damn liberals and the SJWs! It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be festive, maybe it'll snow. Probably not, because we're indoors. Hey, could you do me a small favor? If you liked today's episode, only if you liked it, could you please hit the like button? It takes a second, but it honestly really helps out the show so much. I'd be very grateful. Also, if you enjoyed what you saw here today, or if you're a regular viewer and you want to just keep getting the show, why don't you hit subscribe and you'll get new episodes delivered straight to you, and then you can be part of that notification squad that I yelled at the beginning. Remember that from the beginning of the video? I'm explaining what that was now. Full circle, baby. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.